All right. This here is all the self-help books that I've read recently. Yeah, take that how you will. But I thought it would be interesting to go through and kind of see how many red flags I would get. Like if you're a woman, if you're a girl, let's use the less incel term. If you're a girl and we're on a date, and let's say I show you my room somehow, and you take a look at my bookshelf, and this is what you see. How many red flags do I get, and is it enough for her to like either puke or walk out? So let's get into it. Starting off with a banger, 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. This one, I'm just gonna say it right off the bat, this is a red flag, okay? She sees this book, she's gonna start eyeing me. She's gonna start eyeing me suspiciously for the rest of the day, okay? This is just like a big Reddit no-no, I think. And if, especially in Seattle, if you're a girl, you probably don't like Jordan Peterson very much, just like statistically speaking. Now, that all being said, it is a red flag. However, do I like Jordan Peterson? Yes. Do I like this book? Yes. That is a red flag. That's going to get me minus girl points, I think. Minus some men points, too. All right, moving on. The War of Art. I haven't actually read this book yet. I've skimmed through it a number of times and read a number of the passages. It's definitely not a red flag book. It is good, though. Would recommend. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. And I know what you're thinking. This is not a self-help book. This is a psychology book. Yes, but I read it for self-help purposes. Was I reading it because I was interested in psychology? Yes, but I think I was more interested, sounds weird, but I was more interested in myself. And I think it is useful in the self-help genre for sure. I think it's good. Is this a red flag book? If you really thought too hard about it, you could say it's a red flag book because it's kind of like Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power, Laws of Human, like if you're reading psychology, you're like, oh, how do I manipulate other people? I think if you really thought about it, you could say it's a red flag because Robert Greene's like you might as well be like Andrew Tate if you're reading Robert Greene, right? But no, this is not a red flag book. I don't think most people would even know really what this is if they saw it on my shelf. So not a red flag book. This book's going to get me a green flag, especially if you're a Christian. If you're a Christian and we're on a date and you see this book, it's like -1 red flag. This is like -1 red flag. If you're a Christian girl and we're on a date, holy cow, you're already thinking about what the second date's going to be. I think it's a green flag for sure. In terms of how good this book is really good. I think if you skip the God parts and the Bible verse parts, I think it's even better. I wasn't really a big fan of all the God parts in it and stuff and the Bible verses. Like it'll tell you something. Oh, you should set boundaries, and it'll try to say like, oh, God wants you to set boundaries because of this verse, and you read the verse and it's like, I don't really see the connection, but whatever. I wouldn't tell a girl that. I'd say like, oh yeah, the God part's like, good book. It's definitely not a red flag book. This is like, we're getting sketchy now. This is a red flag. I mean, just taking a look at this guy. Look at this guy. This guy, Mark Manson, my God. You can tell from that smile, he just toxically masculine beyond belief. I personally feel far more toxically masculine after reading this book. I will say that, hand on my shoulder. This book is good though. This is probably up there with one of my favorite self-help books. It is a red flag though. If you're a girl and you're on a date, like I said, we're in our room, you see Jordan Peterson, like, okay, like whatever, I'll see where this goes. And then you see this book, you're like, okay, you know what, let's get through this day. I'm never going to talk to this guy again, right? I think with all of these that I'm kind of jokingly saying are red flag books, I think that you could be on, this is obvious, but I think that you could be on a date with not two guys at once, but let's say you go on a date with one guy. They have all these books on their bookshelves, and they can be a quality guy, and then you can go on a date with another guy, and they have all these books on their bookshelves, and they can be exactly the guy that you're told to avoid for a good reason. So I think that it's not the book, it's the person. I mean, that's obvious, but this is a red flag. Okay, so I'm up to 2 red flags. I'm not doing good. We could count Boundaries as a -1, but The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, it's a good book. All right. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. We're getting into some fun territory here. This is basically a summary book on Stoicism, essentially, but like self-help eyes. Stoicism, I think if you don't know what Stoicism is, can be a red flag, I think, because, you hear Stoic. Oh, like this guy doesn't have emotions. This guy, he's like a lone wolf. disrespectful, like too cool type thing. I guess that's kind of what I think of when I hear Stoic. Having actually read both of these, and I have like at least a basic understanding of Stoicism, it's not like that at all. So in reality, I don't think these are red flags, but if you are a girl on a date and you see these, you might be like, oh, like this is kind of building a narrative, right? Like I kind of get an idea of who this guy is. You know, I'm kind of a little bit suspicious now. Like this is bad. You've got Mark Manson, you got Jordan Peterson, now you've got Stoicism, Ryan Holiday. If I were a girl, I would be very concerned. Essentialism, definitely not a red flag book. It could be, but I don't think so. Is this a red flag book? I think this could be a red flag book because it's like a self-help book, and I think that all self-help books are like frowned upon. But given the severity of my red flags so far, I don't think that this rises to that severity. So I'm going to say this is not a red flag book. But Essentialism is it was good. It was good, but I don't think there's any sexism or toxic masculinity. Can't say the same about the other books that I've read. Deep Work. This is not a red flag book. I think it follows Essentialism, though, in that it's just like a self-help book, and all self-help books, again, are just a little bit frowned upon, I think. But this is a good book. The main thing I got from this book was that even the best of professionals can only focus for like 4 hours. I thought that was pretty crazy, and that's stuck with me since I read this book a few years ago, actually, and I'm reading it again. But definitely not a red flag book. Ego is the Enemy, again, by Ryan Holiday. I'm going to say this is not a red flag book just because Ego is the Enemy is like a very anti-toxic masculine title. It's like, oh, it might as well say toxic masculinity is the enemy. It's hard to make that a red flag book. So this is not a red flag book. Oh, we're getting there. Never Split the Difference. This is big red flag because it's like negotiation and like manipulation, and this could be used on the females. This could be bad. This could be bad. Oh my gosh, we're saving like the worst for second to last. This is crazy that I haven't talked about this yet. This is like 4 red flags because it's Robert Greene. Just holding this book, I feel worse towards women. I think just holding this book, I feel worse towards women. But that being said, I've only read the first chapter. I've only read the first part of this book, and I've read it a few times, but even just the first part I think is worth buying this book. This book is really good. I really like Robert Greene. I'm going to be single forever. I think this is a red flag just because it's like so basic. It's literally the most basic of all basics. Look at that. 20 million copies sold. This is one of them. Did I say this is a red flag? Realistically, this is not a red flag. This is a good, okay book, but not a red flag. Okay. How many red flags did I get? Let's see. 1. No, that's not 1. 19, 2, 3. We'll call the Stoicism 1. 3, 4, -1. We'll just say 4, 5. I have 5 red flags here in this stack of books. I think that 5 is probably like, okay, this is not going to work out. I'm going to go back on Tinder and, text the next guy in line. But yeah, I think 5 honestly isn't too bad. I was kind of expecting more. Like, I personally feel like a super toxically masculine person after reading all these. I'm just kidding. No, but 5 red flags is, it's not bad. Not bad. That's it.